Come on. Okay, Bill Bondaruk here. Just want to talk to you a couple of things that I find coming up this next season can be important for you to maybe pay some attention to is junior golf. Um, One of the things to recognize if you have a son or daughter, or if you are the son or daughter tuning in to me right now, um, recognize the fact that with juniors, you're growing right now. So I think at about the age of 14, your body starts to change, sometimes quite dramatically. And to get a better understanding of this, I have a student that at age 13 qualified for the Mass Open. Um, Age 14, he started hitting the ball off the golf course. And what we didn't recognize was the fact that his body was growing. We understood that. But how? Well, your left arm might grow a whole inch within maybe just a couple weeks, maybe a little bit longer. And then the right arm's trying to catch up. And at the same time, your right leg's growing faster than your left leg, and the left leg catches up, and then it takes off. So this is why kids, their feet are growing, everything's growing. At that stage of their life, they look somewhat clumsy. It's been noted that kids who play football, one in particular that is playing in the pros now, was a great run back at an early age. And then he started growing and his speed virtually diminished. And the coaches started looking at it and said, he's a big kid, let's put him on the front line. And the kid was determined. He said, no, I want to be a run back. So after listening to the coaches for a while, they almost gave up on him. He got his speed back. Now, the other thing interesting about growth periods, and if you're at the age of about 17 or 18, maybe getting towards the end of your growth cycle, for boys, you're going to hit this time frame for about a year where you should really just work mainly on endurance. Right after that cycle of about 1 year, you're going to hit a 2-year period where you're going to be able to build the absolute best B fiber, fast twitch muscle fiber. And that's so important for hitting long tee shots. You're going to be able to bulk up with that kind of muscle for a 2-year period. Not to say the rest of your life you won't be able to do that, but nowhere close to that 2-year period. I think that's why we find, kids who are out in the tour now and they followed Tiger Woods and they kind of started working out at that age period instead of neglecting that. They're hitting the ball so much further. Probably because they hit that period without even knowledge of it. They just kind of were following their hero, so to speak. Now, girls are a little different. Right after that age of when they stop growing, they get that 2 years. So you can almost start immediately with weight training or whatever type of training you want to do for building muscles. I truly think that we should all be juniors and adults alike. We should be involving our body in some type of physical workout with exercises that mimic the golf swing, whether it be through plyometrics, rubber bands, stabilization on certain types of boards. But whenever you're doing something with medicine balls over your shoulder at the ground, over your head, do it so there's a motion that's mimicking one part of your golf swing. Maybe you want to work on leg spring and hip rotations, extensions with your leg and thoracic spine and stuff like that. So definitely start looking into that and include that in your workouts. The last thing I'd like to talk about real quickly for juniors is the driver you're hitting. Now I've got a driver of mine right here, and it's an 8.5 degree Titleist driver with a real nice Tour AD DI6S shaft in it. And I had this cut down to 44 inches. And I'm finding when I do club fittings up at the Harmon Club, I'll sometimes throw a 43-inch shaft and a driver head. Now, the reason I do that is because, well, I mean, when Jack Nicklaus, or even go back to a little bit further, Ben Hogan's driver was 42 and 7/8 of an inch long. Super, super bored stiff shaft. The drivers have started to get longer, all the way up to 45, in some cases 46 inches long. Now, why are club companies doing that? Is let's just take 1 out of 10 golf balls, you hit it on the sweet spot, and it maybe goes 5 yards further. That's about it. Some club company did the study. Center contact hit, if you get close to smash factor on the TrackMan or the Flight Scope, it's about 5 yard difference with the extra inch or two. So if you could cut down a driver or go to your club fitter and have them put a 43-inch fairway shaft in your driver, okay? And with these great heads these days that Titleist and TaylorMade are doing, you can easily do that because the fairway shaft fits the driver head, and try it and notice the difference. I look at it this way. If you could hit the center of the club face with a 43-inch shaft 9 times out of 10, maybe even 10 times out of 10, then why would you want the 45-inch shaft for that one time you hit the perfect smash factor? It just doesn't make sense when you're playing golf. That is, unless you're playing exhibition golf instead of golf. And in that case, you know, the 300 yards makes a difference when you come in after the round and you can tell everybody how far you hit it on that one hole.